Welcome to Social 5 University. This is Jeremiah Stetler, your host and Chief Content Officer at Social 5. Hey, excited to have you aboard tonight as we talk about a hot topic within Young Living Essential Oils right now, and really throughout the network marketing industry as we look at how to effectively produce compliant content. And by the way, I would like to welcome everyone here today. Who is part of Young Living. This is an exciting new group of webinars and an educational series to help those of you become a little more socially savvy and be able to understand the tools. There are some powerful tools that can produce a significant return on investment through your business. But we need to make sure that you have the education and the training to do so effectively. So before we start, I want to make sure that the technology is working just fine. You'll see a dashboard out on the right-hand side of your screen. If you can raise your hand, if you can hear me okay, that would be wonderful. Excellent. I've seen some hands go up, and by the way, I'm seeing some names from individuals who were here earlier in the day at some of our previous sessions. So thank you so much for being part of that. I do have a question that came up asking if we can increase the volume. So I'm gonna bring that microphone a little bit closer to me here. Hopefully that will help. Also, if you want to adjust the volume on your computer, hopefully that will do it as well. So thank you for that question. And by the way, one thing during this webinar, it's meant to be interactive. Feel free to leave a question on the right-hand side of the screen in the questions box. Okay, so that will help. And I'm going to just check here. It looks like we're still having a little bit of some audio questions. I'm going to see if I can just turn up that microphone a little bit higher. All right, just a moment. Okay, so I have the volume turned up all the way on the microphone here. Hopefully, we're not getting some distortion with with the sound there, but that's about as high as we can go. So, all right, so we're going to jump in. Let me show you the agenda for today, and knowing that this webinar is being recorded, so that you can watch it after the fact and get some ideas on content that may be good for your business. So, coming up on the docket tonight are the following. So, we're going to first talk about, if I can get my presentation to work all right, we're first going to touch on social media principles. One of the things that I believe strongly in with Social 5 University is want to make sure that those principles for engagement and audience building are ones that are very clear that can help build a good foundation for content generation in the future. We'll look at some power posting versus problem posting. This is kind of a fun one. I'll show you what some people are doing right and wrong. Content types. These are the things that you should post and also things that you should not post. And that's really the crux of what we want to talk about here today as we look at the scrutiny that the federal government places upon us at times with things that can and cannot be said online. And there's some great ways to be safe in generating content to make sure that we don't run afoul of some of those regulations. All right, and the coming next on the list is tools to increase the reach of your content. Now, for those of you who participated in our Facebook audience building webinar earlier today, you'll notice some similar strategies here, and we'll touch on some of the most significant. So, jumping right in, there are 5 social media principles I want to touch on that will help in generating engaging content. The first one really is to keep your posts conversational. Social media is about being social. Make sure that people feel that way, that they don't feel like they're being sold. They don't feel like they're coming to a place where all you want to do is peddle products. So, effective posts are friendly, conversational, informal, and personal. The next one is, if I can get there to it. Okay, there we go. To encourage engagement. People will engage when they are asked to engage. Okay, you need to ask them to do something, whether that's to leave a comment, whether it's to like, whether it's to go to your website. Those are things that will help people engage with your content. Next, don't be salesy. I mentioned this under the conversational side of your content. It's important that your content is overwhelmingly social. There is what we call the 60-40 rule, where at least 60% of your content should be brand agnostic. It should be social in nature. It should not be product centric, should not be salesy. 40% or less should fit into that category. Because we're not trying to be advertisers necessarily. We're trying to build a community, build a conversation so that leads do come your way when those individuals are ready to buy. Think about diversity of content. I've seen pages where there have been promotions of golf events that have been posted, literally dozens of times within a month's period. Look for ways to mix it up with some videos and some photos and one-liners and fun little personal things as well. Those things will help mix up your page and engage your audience. And then lastly, be creative. Look for creative, fun ways to approach your industry. It's easy to get lost in things on how-to topics or on your products, but are there photos that may work? I remember there was an insurance agent who was looking for increased engagement on his page. Turns out he would volunteer where was that? Well, he'd wear the Cheetos cheetah costume to the mall to try to get people to laugh and to smile and for whatever reason it was, but he took a picture of himself in that cheetah costume, and that went crazy on his page. That was a case of true virality, where his small audience suddenly became much bigger because people were passing around the photo of him in the costume. Okay, so look for ways to be creative with how you're presenting your content and what things you do share. All right, so let's talk just a moment about power posters versus problem posters. For those of you who are on Pinterest, you may recognize the platform I'm showing here. And the question being, what defines the company on the left as a power poster and the one on the right as a problem poster? So take a look at those, and which one would you follow and why? Okay. So the one on the left is for a boot company that really gained recognition for being a power poster on Pinterest because of their tact. You'll notice they had some color boards where this turquoise color became the topic of one of their boards on Pinterest. Everything was about lifestyle. It was about country lifestyle, colors. It was about entertainment and events. None of it was about the product specifically, even though you can see under that boot, it does have $289 right there, but it's very subtle. Under Verizon's, at the time, they were considered a problem poster. Now, I should check and see if they have redone their strategy here. But the reason they were a problem poster is because everything on their site was about product. That doesn't resonate very well with the social audience. So they received a similar award, just on the opposite side of the spectrum of being a problem poster. So that begs the question then, when we're looking at an essential oils business, what should we post? What is the content that would be most effective for your business and that would fall in line with some of the compliance guidelines you're looking at? I know that sometimes we can feel constrained and not know exactly what to post with those guidelines that are imposed upon us. Now, if you are part of the Social 5 service, and most of you on the webinar are on that service today, some of you are not, but those of you who are participating in the Social 5 or the Young Living Social service are receiving content Monday, Wednesday, Friday on your pages. And that content goes through a review process through Young Living's marketing department and through their legal and regulatory. And the idea is that anytime we touch on products or research or those types of things, we want to make sure that legal has a chance to look at it. So when it comes down to what you should post, your responsibility is to personalize the page. Give it that human touch that could never come through an automated service or a third party service like this one is. So here are a few things to think about when you're looking at what content can you post. The first thing that you should be posting is events that are happening. Are you giving presentations or demonstrations or classes? Are you talking about aromatherapy? Are you talking about products at your home? Those are things that you should be posting every time on social media. There is no better venue than on Facebook for that type of content. Now, especially when you consider some of the low priced options for building your audience. Those of you who participate in the audience building, think about the boosting function. For $5, being able to reach up to 1,000 people with something like this, where you can announce and market a meeting you're having, there in your locality. This is very powerful, and what the page honestly is made for is generating the type of traffic you need for this. So that is, yes, something to post. The next one is something we refer to as calls to action. You've heard that many times, but I've put some examples of it. We talked about encouraging people to do something. Okay, and so we see some examples of this is from an orthodontist. Tell us what you love to snack on when you have braces, or this was for a sporting goods shop in Pennsylvania. It's who do you think has the greatest mustache in sports history? These are ways to get people to engage with your content in your industry. So this can be a call to action that is, hey, check out my Young Living page with a link, or maybe it's tell us what oil has worked best for you, or maybe it is something like tell us where your favorite vacation destination is at this time of year. Even if it is not related to essential oils at all, it is valuable. Some of you may have heard that Facebook has been a little bit tougher for businesses in the last 7 to 8 months. It's requiring more and more paid promotion to be able to get your message out. That we're seeing that just under 7%. I'm trying to think how to say this. If you have an audience of 100 people, based on Facebook's current algorithm, on average, 7% of that audience will see any given post. Okay, so 100% won't see it. An average of 7% will see it. But what changes that is when you do boosting. What changes that is when you have increased engagement on your page. So a question as simple as, what is your favorite ice cream, where you can get people to interact, or your favorite float in the parade, that will increase your engagement level and lead Facebook to show your content to more people. Okay, so make sure to include a call to action. If you are on the Young Living Facebook service, there will be 3 tabs off to the side of your page. One is product and opportunity, and there's one other that's slipping my mind here. Those tabs are tied into your distributor number. A call to action that asks people to, hey, take a look at a video under products or opportunity can be an effective call to action that could lead to additional sales down the road. All right, the next one is personal photos. Oh, and there's the cheetah costume. You know what? He's not in the cheetah. Oh, darn it. I was remembering that one wrong. Well, that is the viral piece of content of this insurance agent with the Cheetos guy in the grocery store. So looking at that, you may not think that's anything significant. It went viral. It was one of the highest performing posts in his insurance network within Safeco. Really incredible stuff. But it can be anything. It can be photos of you, out snowmobiling, or this one down here is a Throwback Thursday post of when they first started their insurance agency, or it can be just when you're having a party. I mean, all of those things. It doesn't matter what the photo is. Well, it needs to be decent, of course, but personal photos will gain you more engagement than anything else. Period. I tell people the dirty secret at Social Five is that if a person posts a picture of themselves, of their office, of a sunset, something that personalizes their page on Facebook, they will 70 to 80% of the time outperform any content that we could ever do on our own. Simply because people love that local flair, that local taste. And these are things where there is no concern about compliance. So think about that. A personal photo. That's your job, is to personalize the page. Now there's some other things that you can put on there as well. A pop culture. If there's a movie that's coming out that you like. Again, this is not related to product at all. Or if there is some mention of product, it's very indirect. You want to stay as far away from mentioning details about product as possible. But these things you can piggyback on viral content that is going out today in pop culture. In fact, we have we have many clients who have a day of the week. They have content that is called viral content, and it's fun things like crazy YouTube videos, or people that are like, there's one with a 3-year-old shooting hoops and hit them every time. It has nothing to do with their industry, but people love to watch it. They love to share it, and as a result, it shares your brand every time it goes out. Now, I've taken the brand off of each of these ones, but on a typical Facebook post, if you look at your page, you'll see your icon or your logo up at the top, your name, and a little description of your business. Now, if you hover over that, you'll see the full size of your page. So if a person were to share this video of the office and diversity training, that wherever it went, it would carry your logo and your brand to build up your brand exposure online. Another one is holiday content. When it is Halloween, wish people a happy Halloween. When it's Christmas, wish people a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holidays. Or look for some different holidays. We've seen some great success from ones like Talk Like a Pirate Day, or National Fruitcake Day, even though most people were just responding back about how much they hated fruitcake. But look for holiday posts. Again, nothing to do with product. It's something to personalize and humanize your page. These are all things that you can post. And then fun stuff. Remember to keep it light. This ugly dog contest, by the way, has been one that that we have followed virtually every year since we started at Social Five, because everyone loves the ugly dog contest. So these are all things you can post. Now let's talk about things not to post. Okay. The first one is product claims. Okay. So we want to stay as far away from claiming that a product can solve a certain health problem or medical ailment as possible. This goes for a personal testimonial. If you have a success story of your own in which an essential oil has really changed your life and has changed the way you go about your quality of life, Facebook is not the place to post it. Okay, because it moves into the realm of a product claim. If you do want to share that story, it's great to do it in a meeting or a presentation or a demonstration, but it cannot come through a social network or a written network that way. Also, stay away from specific claims about what essential oils um, will do for that particular customer. That if they have I'm just trying to think for a moment here, because some of you have been so wonderful to me. I know that I tend to lose my voice after Social Five University, and I've had some of you reach out to me and recommend some of the oils that may work for me. In fact, I have a wonderful kit that's that's by my desk that I have used. So thank you. But stay away from making any explicit claims about what the product will do for a customer online. That can land you into some trouble. Now, the next one is stay away from new research. And this is even if the research comes from a very reputable source. Okay. If a peer reviewed study may come out, and the temptation is to publish it out there on your page and to include a detailed description or summary or of what the findings were. Well, that's a little bit dangerous. There are ways that we can refer to those studies to make sure that we are isolated or insulated from that claim. And every time we do, we run that through legal and compliance to make sure it fits well. But I would highly recommend against posting a study on your own. Again, your job is to personalize the page. Our job is to write about products and about the science in a way that we can run it through compliance to make sure that is all right. And just to give you a little bit of a behind the curtains look at the process that we've gone through, as you know, there have been some changes in guidelines that have happened, just this year in the things that can and cannot be said on Facebook or on the blog. And so, as part of that, we've been working with compliance and ended up taking our library of content, which consists of thousands and thousands of Facebook posts and many, many blogs. And we ended up retiring thousands of those pieces of content and restarting the library as of early this year and having the compliance and regulatory divisions go back through and re-review all of the content that is now being distributed to ensure that it all meets the new FDA guidelines. Very rigorous process that generally takes several weeks to get a batch of content through, but it's to make sure that we're safe on those regards. All right, so now that you have content, let's talk about ways to increase its reach. First of all, we talked a little bit today about sharing content. This is when you find a piece of content that you really like and you want to share that with your friends. What you do then is click on this share button that appears beneath the post. Okay, you'll see that, and you'll share it out there on your personal Facebook page. This allows you to give your existing audience some exposure to what you're writing. And if you have employees, if you have family members, please encourage them to share as well, because the average person on Facebook has 338 friends. If you can get one person to share, you now have a much broader reach of your content. Now, I do have a question that came through about whether the guidelines I gave were related to were for the blog as well as for Facebook or just for Facebook. Now, at this point, Facebook is the most important that we're looking at, simply because of the volume of content. So we talk about personalizing your page. You're looking at personalizing your Facebook page with photos and recipes and events and that sort of thing. The blog is not customizable that way, and so the blog is one where we will post twice a month on your behalf, and then your role is to take that mobile suite where it's loading. And some of you may remember the mobile suite training we had earlier today. I'll be sending out those videos early next week. But to add email addresses so that those blogs can then deploy to people in your network and start generating leads for you. I had one mortgage lender that contacted me today. She is generating 1 to 2 mortgages per month off of her mobile suite and her email campaign. And so for her, the return on investment is very significant, because a single mortgage pays between $1,800 and $2,000. Okay, so I can't emphasize enough the importance of that email engine. All right. And maybe I'll have to ask a clarifying question here. Oh, for compliance. Okay, got it. So a question about whether or not the, if I'm understanding this right, the question was whether the blog content goes through a compliance process as well. And hopefully I'm understanding that right. And all of the content goes through compliance, Facebook content and the blog. So thank you. That's very, very important to specify. And yes, and all of that content has been gone through a secondary review. So if you see a post that goes on your page today or on your blog today, it is coming from a library that has been reapproved through the compliance department. Okay. No, so thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so sharing your content is a great way to increase its reach. Facebook boosting, super, super helpful. Okay, and if you have a meeting, this is what you should definitely use. In fact, that's what I would focus on is not necessarily posting any or boosting any type of content, but if you have an event, please boost that. You'll see a significant return on investment for that, where a simple $5 can reach up to 1,000 individuals. And boosting is a little bit less geographically targeted as some other Facebook advertising techniques, but it can be very valuable. You do have to have a minimum threshold of likes. It is showing 50 likes on this page, but that has been dropped down, and that may be 30. I need to find out the new guidelines there, which is wonderful that they are making it easier and more accessible for everyone. To do that, you'll simply click on the boost button at the bottom, and it'll give you the option to designate a spend. You'll notice right here that $5 is reaching 760 to 1,400 people. Okay, not bad at all. You can target, you notice here in the audience, people who like your page and their friends. We do that a lot if you want to leverage your existing network, or people you choose to target. You can target a certain geography if you would like. So this is totally an option. Lots of success that comes through that. The only pitfall, and I'm going to mention this one because I've had some individuals reach out to me with questions on this, is sometimes you'll boost a post and Facebook will deny it. And you'll scratch your head and say, why in the world did they do that? The reason often has to do with the photo. There is a restriction within Facebook for boosting a piece of content or a photo that has more than 20% of the image occupied by text. Okay, so that is something to take into consideration, that it should be just a general photo, or maybe a photo with very limited text that you choose to boost, or you might run into some problems. You can also search online, like if you Google for Facebook advertising grid, that will lead you to a grid within Facebook where you can upload your photo, and it will tell you whether your post or your photo is occupied by has 20% of text or more on that image. So that is a resource for you. And sorry to go into the weeds there. Hopefully, I'm not making everybody have steam coming out of their ears on that one. So with that, let me open it up to any questions. We've gone for about a half an hour here, and hopefully some of the information we've talked about is important or is meaningful to you. And I guess the bottom line, if there could be one kind of golden nugget that would come from this one, is when it comes to your social media strategy, your job is to personalize the Facebook page and publicize events. The job of the Social 5 service is to talk about products and research under the guidelines and the oversight of Young Living Regulatory. Okay, so that's very important. So let me open that up. If you have questions, there's a dashboard on the right-hand side of your screen under the questions box. Feel free to ask any questions, either about compliance, about content creation strategies, or if you have other questions about Twitter or LinkedIn, or maybe you're wondering if you should start a Pinterest profile, or what about email marketing, I'm happy to answer any of those that you have if you'd like to ask those questions. All right, so we did have one question that came through just on the recording of this video, and thanks for bringing that up. We will post all of this video and the other two from today on our Social 5 University webpage at s5u.social5.net. That's s5u.social5.net. Now, I will send out an email to everyone with that link once the videos are posted. It will be early next week, so that you can click right on those. So, all right, great. So I think that is all of the questions for today. Thank you. Feel free to reach out to me directly at Social 5 University. Happy to help you however I can. Have a wonderful and blessed evening. Take care. Bye-bye.